Hey, it's Korinn, 365 Days of Open Heart Living, day 64, food as energy, right? I mean, that's not something that isn't known. Food is energy for our body, it fuels us, and the quality of food that we put into our body has an effect on us. The quality of the energy of the food that we put into our body affects us. So, foods that have like a higher vibration, foods that are more closer in their natural state when we ingest them, have a higher vibration, higher frequency that we are taking in as energy, more nutrients, more nourishment for our body to repair and to have vibrance. And foods that have been broken down into other forms, processed foods, those have a lower frequency, a lower vibration, and the energy of those have a lower impact on keeping our vibrance up and in giving us the building blocks that we need. That's why they put in nutrients to so many foods, because as they process them and break down what they originally were in their ingredients, the nutrients are leached out. They dissipate, and they're not as strong and potent in the end product. So they have to be added back in, like in white bread, for example. Yeah, so what we eat is our energy, and it's how we fuel our body. It's how we fuel our vibrance that we feel. So, because the foods that we eat, when we eat low vibration foods, we feel less vibrant. And when we eat high vibration foods, we feel more vibrant. And vibrance as an energetic quality is of the essence, right? So it could be likened to being a spiritual quality too. When we eat foods that that make us feel sluggish and heavy, then our vibrance is low, and our ability to tap into who we are spiritually, or the energy that's trying to come through us as a spiritual being in a physical body, it's not as high of a quality either. So we want to eat foods that support us all around. Same with mind and emotions. When we eat foods, they have definitely an impact on our mind and emotions. So we can eat garbage and have garbage thoughts. This has been something I have seen many, many times in my life. Sometimes when I have really been tanking in what my mental chatter is, I will really, I'll stop and be like, why am I talking to myself like this? Why am I so down on myself? Because it's not my norm. And sometimes I can literally link it to eating a stretch of bad, low vibration foods, or not good quality foods, junk food, really. Um, and then when I see like that's the denominator there, then it actually is helpful, because I know like this is going to blow over. Like in 2 to 3 days, as soon as I'm back eating what I normally am eating, then I'm not going to be down on myself. I'm not going to have these negative thought patterns that are just um, taking me down and making me feel like garbage, the garbage that I ate. Same with our emotions. So, the thing that's bringing up this topic for me right now is I have been eating like crap for a stretch of like 5 days. And it's fine. We all fall off the wagon, and I will get back on. It's no concern. But it's fascinating to me actually, because the day after I ate my garbage foods, the next morning I had like anxiety. It was just like, oh, like not like anxious thoughts. This time it didn't affect me mentally, but emotionally, just feeling like even I just feel shaky. Like my insides, I'm not settled. I'm just like kind of on edge. I can still manage and move around the world like many people who have anxiousness, and like many people who pour, what is the word I'm thinking of? Reactive fuel on the fire, inflame, inflammation. That's the word I'm thinking of. So there's inflammation in my body. That's like fire, right? Creating more heat, creating more instability because I'm inflamed. And the more fuel I pour onto my inflammation up from foods that inflame me, the more that fire is going to burn and the more anxious I'm going to become. So there's so many of us who walk around pouring on foods that inflame us and not realizing that that is one of the trigger points of why we're feeling anxious. I have had the special opportunity to work with a functional medicine doctor over the course of, I think it was like 2.5 years, a long time. I had suffered from feeling brain fog and fatigue, and I wanted help. So I reached out to a professional and I was able to overcome those symptoms. They do creep back in when I eat like garbage, but I'm aware of it. And I feel like that has been a real gift. The more we can know and understand our body and the things that inflame it, then we can counter those feelings, those thoughts, that physical instability by actually switching into the foods that we know are supportive to ourselves. Studying yourself, studying your body, studying your patterns, and the things that trigger you, it can be a very enlightening process. So if you've never had the chance to kind of think about what foods do I put in my body, how do they affect me, then take this as a little nudge to start to explore that. And it doesn't mean you have to go see a functional medicine doctor like I did, or a nutritionist, or there's lots of professionals out there that could be an option, but it could mean that you just start to pay attention. That you start to notice, like, okay, if I have my morning coffee at 6 a.m., then by noon I'm like tanked. Like I have no energy. I can barely keep my eyes open. Like, those kinds of patterns. Like just look at how you're feeling throughout the day. Is there a pattern to it? Is there a certain time of day that you crash? Is there a certain food that you have that after you have it, you feel a certain way? Are you having brain fog? Are you having emotional turbulence or mental chatter that's negative that you feel is potentially connected to substances that you take in, even like alcohol, right? Like alcohol is such a depressant. Like, do you notice after you had a night of drinking, like how do you feel that next day? I mean, right? Everybody knows about the hangover, but legit, there can be food hangovers too. And it's a real thing. So start paying attention to your body, start paying attention to what you put into it, what makes you feel better too, right? Because we have that angle. We can watch and learn from ourselves and our awareness and our openness to just take the time to learn, even doing a food journal, like what are the foods that are negatively impacting me? What are the foods that are positively impacting me? And the thing is, there are some, staple foods that are known to increase inflammation, which has an overall effect physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually with that vibrance. But everybody's body is different too. We all have different chemistry. We all have different reactions that happen in our body. We all have deficiencies, that need to be built up. Um, Vitamins that can help us, maybe other people, they don't need them. It's we just are our own laboratory of being able to kind of figure those things out. So for today's meditation, we are going to do the inner breath and just get into that space of being connected to ourselves and centering. And then at the end, I will walk you through an exploratory practice. Go ahead and close your eyes and just be relaxed wherever you are, wherever you're sitting. Just relax your body and bring your attention then to feeling the flow of your breath. Allowing it to be a physical experience of just resting your awareness on the physical sensations of breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, and in your own rhythm and pattern that you are feeling, breathing out. As we rest our attention on feeling our breath, the mind rests too. Breathing in and breathing out, feeling the sensation of your breath. When the mind starts to wander and becomes louder than the physical feeling sense, just be aware that that is happening, and then come back to feeling your breath. Center on feeling it as it flows in through your nose and out through your nose. And just stay with it there, resting gently upon that sensation. Your awareness is centered upon you as you're feeling the flow of your natural breathing. Now I want you to ask yourself a question and listen to your inner response and openness. Feel the breath again. What food is it that I need to stop eating? And when you're ready, open your eyes. So I hope you were able to listen to yourself and your centeredness and just see what spontaneously popped up in your mind, in a thought, in an image, in a knowingness that there's something that is maybe not helping your body right now that maybe you need to take a break from. And I want you to take some time too. So just that is potentially something you could explore, but take some time also after we end and just think about, are there other foods that maybe I should take a break from? For me personally, chocolate chips was the thing that popped up. That will be hard for me, but I will entertain that idea. I think it'd be really great for me to do right now because I'm coming off of like my binge of I've just been eating garbage. So it would very much so be helpful for me to not be eating my chocolate chips like I normally do. And the one food, like consciously, that I know I need to break up with is nachos because I've been eating way too many nachos. I've had nachos every day for like the last 5 days. Like, I seriously, I'm breaking up with nachos today. No more. Done. Cold turkey. um, but it matters. It matters what we eat, and that's the whole point. And when we can have moments of conscious awareness and shift into bringing foods that have higher vibration, higher frequency into our body, that is going to support us mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and obviously physically. Oh, I do want to share one story because it's kind of interesting. So when I was pregnant with my daughter Marin, I had horrible acne. And like I've never had great skin. Like as a teenager, I had definitely angry skin. Um, but I my acne with my daughter, it was like on my cheeks. And that's not normally where I would break out. And it was bad. And I was just, oh, nobody likes that. But I was pregnant, so I knew it was a result of the hormones in my body. But still, it was like I wanted to try to figure out like what can I do to like help this? Like what else is maybe a culprit of this being my the condition of my skin that I'm having a breakout so terribly all the time of acne. So I meditated. I did this a few different times, and it was really interesting because I always got the same answer. So I would meditate just like we did, quiet myself, center, and then I would ask what food is or what is causing me to have this outbreak of acne. And I would always get a cow, a white. This is how I said yellow. I meant white. This is part of me eating like garbage. My brain is just not firing great. So a white and black cow I would see in my mind in response to my meditative question of what is causing me to have this acne? A cow. So I was like, that's interesting. And related that to maybe it's dairy. Took dairy out of my diet after getting that response a couple different times, and the acne improved. It maybe even went away. That was a while ago. My daughter's 13 now, so I don't specifically remember if it completely went away. I kind of feel like it did. Hard to remember, but for sure it improved. And from that point, I actually started to stay away from dairy, and that has been one of my inflammatory foods that I put into my body from time to time, and hence my nacho addiction over the last 5 days, and why I'm breaking up with it because it's not good for my body. But anyway, just food for thought, something interesting, a little tidbit from my journey of just how I function and how I tap into myself internally, and how you can too tap into yourself in an energetic way of your energy's intelligence so that you can get some answers that can support you as well. So I hope that you maybe take an interest in improving your health through the foods that you eat and raising your vibrance, because you have a beautiful heart, and I hope that you keep living your heart.